A poor young man. His wife divorced him, and even his daughter hated him because he was extremely poor. But one day, he gets into a strange and exciting game made up of 7 stages. Whoever wins all the stages and finishes the game will receive 45 billion won. A huge number, right? But unfortunately, these games are deadly. He's forced to kill many people and take part in bizarre challenges. In the end, the question is, will he win the money, or will he lose himself? That's what we'll see in today's video. The show begins with this man, a total failure in life, drowning in debt. We see Song sitting at home with his elderly mother, who's about to head to work. She works just to support her son and pay off his endless debts. Before leaving, she gives him some money so he can meet his daughter and take her out to eat. He used to be married and had a daughter, but since the divorce, his daughter now lives with her mother and stepfather. Of course, her real father couldn't provide for her. In his arrogance, Song gets angry at his mother because the money she gave him is too little. She leaves him a bit more cash and goes to work. After she leaves, Song rummages around the apartment until he finds his mother's bank card. He takes it and with a friend tries to withdraw as much money as possible. He then heads to a racetrack and bets on horses. Shockingly, he guesses everything right and wins 4 million won. Sounds like a lot, right? But remember, the Korean currency is weak. A cup of coffee could cost you 10,000 won, and leaving a 5,000 tip is normal. Anyway, he cashes out his winnings, tips the cashier generously, and calls his daughter, telling her to get ready for a great birthday celebration. But before he can finish the call, a gang shows up, the same people he owes money to. He tries to run away, accidentally bumping into a young woman. He apologizes quickly and keeps running, but the gang catches him. Song promises he has money to pay them back, but when he checks his pockets, the cash is gone. He realizes the woman he bumped into was actually a pickpocket who stole everything. Left with nothing, the gang beats him up and forces him to sign a contract agreeing to give up his organs if he can't repay his debts. Helpless, he signs. Afterward, he tries to figure out how to celebrate his daughter's birthday. He goes back to the cashier he had tipped earlier and shamelessly takes back the tip. Then he tries a claw machine, hoping to win her a toy. He fails, but a little boy helps him pull one out. Without even looking inside, Song takes the gift straight to his daughter. Later, when they open it, it turns out to be a toy gun-shaped lighter. His daughter gets nervous and hands it back, afraid her mother might find out and cause trouble. She was about to tell him something important, but changes her mind. They spend the rest of the day together normally before he takes her back home. Later, his mother tells him the real news. His ex-wife and her husband are moving to the US and plan to take his daughter with them. His daughter had wanted to tell him earlier, but couldn't bring herself to. If he wants custody, he must prove to the court that he can financially support her before she leaves. Hearing this devastates Song. Depressed, he looks at an old picture of himself with his daughter. Then he remembers the mysterious card he received from the man at the subway. He calls the number, agrees to join, and is told to wait at a certain place where a car will pick him up. The car arrives, driven by a masked man in red. Inside, Song finds other passengers already asleep. Before he can ask questions, gas fills the car, knocking him unconscious like the others. When he wakes up, he's in a huge dormitory filled with bunk beds and hundreds of players, all wearing identical tracksuits. He meets an old man, player 001, who's counting the people in the room. Seong tells him the numbers are already displayed on the screen, but the man explains he has a brain tumor, and the doctor advised him to keep counting things to prevent dementia. Seong is shocked that such an old man would risk his life in a deadly game. The old man explains that since he's at the end of his life, He wants to experience something exciting before he dies. Suddenly, a fight breaks out between a thug and a woman. To Seong's surprise, the woman turns out to be the pickpocket who had stolen his money earlier. As chaos builds, armed guards wearing masks storm in, led by a man with a square mask, ranking above the circle-masked workers. The front man announces the rules. They will all stay for 6 days and compete in 6 different games. The winners will receive unimaginable wealth. At first, the players doubt them, asking how they can trust people who drugged them and wear masks. But the guards insist secrecy is necessary and they won't be harmed outside of the games. Then player 218 is revealed. It's Sang-woo, Seong's childhood friend. Once a respected banker, Sang-woo secretly embezzled huge sums and is also drowning in debt. The guards play surveillance footage, proving everyone voluntarily participated in earlier challenges. It's revealed that all 456 players are deeply in debt to various people and have no way out. They are told they can either leave and go back to their miserable lives, or stay and risk everything for a chance at fortune. No one speaks up, signaling agreement. Everyone signs the participation contract, which contains 3 rules. A player is not allowed to stop playing. A player who refuses to play will be eliminated. The games will end only if the majority votes to stop. The players are photographed, and the first game begins. Red light, green light. They step outside into a giant field where a massive robot shaped like a little girl stands at the front. The robot announces, red light, green light, and all the contestants start running toward the finish line. But the moment the doll turns its head, everyone is supposed to freeze. Any movement means elimination. At first, nobody truly understands what elimination means. They think maybe it just means they'll lose the game. The game begins. The doll calls out its phrase and suddenly spins around. A young man keeps running, unable to stop in time. A gunshot rings out and he collapses, dead. Everyone is shocked, unable to process what just happened. They don't yet realize that elimination literally means death. One contestant approaches the fallen man, thinking he just fainted. But blood pours from his mouth. He's clearly dead. Panic sets in. The player runs in terror, and another shot kills him instantly. Now the truth sinks in. This game is deadly. Chaos erupts. Contestants scatter in all directions, screaming and running wildly. Gunfire cuts them down in waves, turning the arena into a massacre. Meanwhile, Gi-hoon's song freezes in terror when another player is shot and falls right on top of him. He's paralyzed, unsure of what to do. Then the old man, player 001, decides to keep playing, smiling as if enjoying the thrill. Inspired, others begin following his lead, carefully moving forward only when the doll says green light. Cho Sang-woo warns Gi-hoon that if he stays frozen in fear, he'll die too. The game has a time limit. Anyone who doesn't cross the finish line before it ends will also be killed. He also points out that the doll uses motion sensors. If Gi-hoon hides behind other players, he won't be detected. During the game, the pickpocket girl hides behind the gangster. At one point, she deliberately trips him to the ground, using him as cover while she keeps running. Gi-hoon finally gathers his courage and starts moving carefully, terrified with every step. As the timer runs out, many contestants manage to cross the finish line. Sang-woo, the pickpocket, the gangster, the old man, and others. Gi-hoon is just steps away when he stumbles over a corpse, almost falling forward. The doll detects his movement and locks onto him. In that exact moment, Ali, the Pakistani worker, grabs Gi-hun and holds him still, saving his life. Together they freeze, then move again, finally making it across just in time. The game ends, but many didn't survive. Those who failed to reach the finish line are mercilessly gunned down. From afar, the masked frontman, dressed in black, watches everything unfold with cold amusement, listening to classical music as the massacre plays out. When it's over, the giant doors close, sealing the arena. The players realize they are trapped on a remote island, completely cut off from the outside world. Soldiers in masks start burning the corpses of the dead contestants in giant furnaces. Of the original 456 players, only 200 remain. The survivors are horrified, realizing too late what they signed up for. One female contestant breaks down in tears, begging the guards to let her leave. She has a newborn baby at home and can't die here. Others also plead to quit. Sang-woo reminds everyone of the third rule. If the majority votes to end the games must stop. The guards agree and prepare a vote. But before that, they reveal a massive glass sphere hanging above the arena. Slowly, it fills with money, 45.6 billion won in total. The guards explain, if they quit, the money will be distributed to the families of the dead players. But if they continue, the final winner will claim the entire jackpot. The sight of the money sways many players. Even the crying mother who wanted to leave changes her mind. Greed takes over. The vote begins. It's neck and neck. 100 vote to quit, 100 to continue. Everything comes down to the very last vote. Player 001, the old man. After a long pause, tense silence, he votes to end the games. The majority has spoken. The game ends, for now. The surviving players are blindfolded and dumped back into the city, abandoned in different locations. Gi-hun wakes up in the street next to the pickpocket girl. She mocks him before leaving. Gi-hun, desperate, goes to the police station and tells them everything about the deadly games. But the officers laugh at him, thinking he's drunk or insane. Only one young detective, Hwang Jun-ho, seems intrigued. He notices the strange business card Gi-hun leaves behind. Remember this detective. He's going to be very important later. Han excuses herself, saying she needs to go to the bathroom, and the pickpocket joins her. But it turns out they have different reasons for leaving. Han sneaks off to secretly smoke a hidden cigarette, since smoking is forbidden. Meanwhile, the pickpocket intends to climb through the ventilation shafts to spy on the guards and find out what game will be played the next day, so she can prepare and increase her chances of survival. In the bathroom, the pickpocket asks Han to cover for her until she comes back, and in return, she promises to share what she learns. Using a small knife she smuggled in, she opens a vent and climbs up into the ducts. After crawling through for a while, she discovers a room full of guards working with large amounts of sugar, though she can't figure out exactly what they're making. Quickly, she returns before anyone notices her absence. Back in the dorm, Han presses the pickpocket for answers, but the girl refuses to say, promising instead to reveal it in the morning. Unknown to them, Sang-woo is awake, listening and watching everything. The next day, Han asks again, and the pickpocket admits she saw the guards melting sugar, but doesn't know why. To her, the information feels useless, and she walks away. Later, during breakfast, a doctor among the contestants discovers a hidden note inside his meal, revealing the day's game. Remember this doctor, because he will play an important role later. After eating, the players are escorted to the game arena. On the way, Sang-woo questions the pickpocket about what she saw. At first, she refuses to answer, but when Sang-woo explains that all the games are based on childhood games from South Korea, and if she tells him what she saw, he can probably guess, she gives in and tells him about the sugar. Still, he doesn't explain the game to anyone else. When the players arrive, they are shown shapes: a circle, a triangle, a star, and an umbrella. They must each choose one. Sang-woo, realizing the truth, secretly selects the easiest shape, the triangle. Ali chooses the circle. The old man picks the star, and Gi-hoon unfortunately chooses the most difficult, the umbrella. Even though Sang-woo knows exactly what the game is, he doesn't warn Gi-hoon, letting him walk straight into danger. Suspicious, the pickpocket decides to shadow Sang-woo and chooses the same shape he does, just in case. Each player is given a tin containing a thin sugar candy called dalgona, with the chosen shape imprinted on it, and a needle. The challenge is to carve the shape out without breaking the fragile candy. They have only 10 minutes. If the candy cracks, or if time runs out, they will be shot on the spot. The players are horrified. One by one, contestants fail, breaking their candy and being executed immediately. The arena fills with tension and panic. The pickpocket manages to succeed, carefully cutting out her shape. The doctor also succeeds, having already known what the game was. Ali completes his circle, and soon Sang-woo too finishes safely. Gi-hoon, however, struggles with his umbrella, convinced he's doomed. Then, as a drop of sweat falls on the candy and melts a tiny section, he has an idea. He begins licking the candy from the back, softening it until the fragile outline of the umbrella separates cleanly. Against all odds, he survives. Meanwhile, Han cheats by heating her needle with her lighter, making it easier to carve out the star. Before she leaves, she notices Dek-soo, the gangster, failing with his star. She secretly lends him her lighter, helping him survive. Eventually, enough players succeed, but many are killed. During the cleanup, one desperate contestant, realizing he has no chance, attacks a guard, steals his gun, and shoots him. He forces the guard to remove his mask, revealing a very young man beneath it. Shocked, the contestant hesitates, then turns the gun on himself, committing suicide. The frontman, wearing his black mask, appears. He coldly orders the other guards to remember, if their identities are exposed, they are worthless. He executes the unmasked guard on the spot. Detective Hwang Jun-ho, still undercover among the guards, seizes this moment to switch masks. He takes the square mask from the dead guard, giving him a higher rank than his previous circle mask. When the surviving players return to the dorm, they discover their numbers have shrunk dramatically, from 187 down to just 108. The next morning, they are given a meager breakfast, only a single egg and a soda. Many are dissatisfied, especially the gangster Duk-soo. Han, now allied with him after helping him, suggests they go back in line and grab a second serving. They do, leaving some players with nothing. When one of the hungry contestants tries to fight back, Duk-soo beats him to death. The guards don't intervene. This makes it clear to everyone: killing is allowed inside the dorms. Meanwhile, the doctor continues his secret deal with some guards. In exchange for harvesting organs from dead players, he is given advanced knowledge of the games. After his shift, he receives a boiled egg containing the next game's name. But one guard warns him, there will also be a special game tonight. The organizers intentionally gave the players little food, knowing hunger would push them to kill each other. Back in the dorm, alliances begin forming. Gi-hoon and his group try to prepare for the coming night. The old man warns him that when the lights go out, chaos will erupt. Gi-hun even tells the pickpocket to come near his bed for protection, worried she'll be targeted. The doctor, meanwhile, sides with Deksu's gang, ensuring his safety. When night falls, the lights flicker on and off, plunging the room into chaos. Deksu's gang launches a brutal massacre, killing anyone in their way. Players are suffocated with pillows, stabbed with knives, beaten to death in the dark. The guards stand at the door, ensuring no one escapes, but they don't stop the violence. Gi-hun and his friends desperately try to find the old man. The pickpocket seeks his help too, as promised. When Deksu tries to attack her, Gi-hun intervenes. Soon Sang-woo and Ali join in, standing together against the gang. Just as another fight is about to break out, the old man climbs onto a high bed and shouts, begging the organizers to stop. He warns them that if the killing continues, no players will remain to finish the games. The front man, watching from his office, finally orders the guards to intervene. They storm in, restore order, and search everyone for weapons. During the inspection, Jun-ho, the undercover detective, takes the opportunity to quietly speak with Gi-hun. He reveals he's a police officer and asks if Gi-hun has seen his missing brother. Gi-hun admits he hasn't. By the end of the massacre, the number of players drops again, from 107 to around 80. The next day, the guards announce the new game. Form teams of 10. Gi-hun's group recruits Sang-woo, the old man, the pickpocket, and Ali. They're short of members, so Sang-woo urges everyone to find strong players, not knowing what the game is. Eventually, even Han joins their team at the last moment. The game is revealed, Tug of War, but not an ordinary tug of war. The platform is suspended high above the ground. The losing team will fall to their deaths. Deksu's team, made entirely of strong men thanks to the doctor's inside information, wins easily in their first match. Watching this, Gi-hun's group loses hope. Their opponents are also strong men, but the old man steps up, sharing a strategy from his youth. For the first 10 seconds, they must hold the rope firmly and resist moving. This will confuse the other team and weaken their rhythm. Then, at the right moment, they must pull with all their strength. The game begins. At first, the other team drags Gi-hun's group dangerously close to the edge. Just as they're about to lose, Sang-woo proposes a risky trick. Take 3 steps forward at once, forcing the other team off balance. Then pull hard. They follow his plan, and against all odds, it works. The opposing team collapses, falling to their deaths. Gi-hun's group survives. When they return to the dorm, only 40 players remain. Han glares at Deksu, vowing revenge for betraying her and refusing to take her into his team. Later, Gi-hun and his group discuss the next night. They are sure Deksu's gang will attack again, so they build a barricade from the bunk beds as protection. When Deksu mocks them, Gi-hun warns him to watch his own back, because even his own allies might turn on him. The words strike fear in Deksu, and that night, his gang refrains from attacking. The detective is cornered on a high cliff with only 1 bullet left in his gun. He fires at the front man, hitting him in the shoulder. At that moment, the front man removes his mask, and it's revealed that he is actually the detective's own brother. Shocked, the detective realizes the man he has been searching for all along is right in front of him. The front man begs his brother to return with him, saying he wants him alive. But he warns that if he refuses, he'll have no choice but to kill him. The detective refuses, and with deep regret in his eyes, the front man shoots him, sending him falling into the sea. Meanwhile, Gi-hun, Sang-woo, and the pickpocket return to the dorm. Tension rises between Gi-hun and Sang-woo as Gi-hun still blames him for causing a man's death. Their argument is interrupted by the guards. When the pickpocket goes to change her clothes, it is revealed that she is seriously wounded in the stomach from the glass explosion earlier. But she hides her pain so no one notices. She forces herself to join the others for the dinner. After the meal, the guards leave them with knives, making it clear the three must kill each other. Back in the dorm, the three sit tensely, waiting. Gi-hun approaches the pickpocket, who is weak and on the verge of collapsing. She thinks he's about to kill her, but he reassures her he only keeps the knife for protection against Sang-woo, not her. They talk, and she makes him promise that if either of them survives, they must look after the other's family. Eventually, she drifts into sleep. Gi-hun considers attacking Sang-woo as he sleeps, but the pickpocket, with her last bit of strength, tells him not to, because it's not who he is. Soon after, her injuries worsen and she begins to fade. Gi-hun rushes to the guards, begging them to help her. But when they arrive, they carry a coffin instead. Sang-woo has already killed her while Gi-hun was away. Gi-hun, devastated and furious, tries to attack him, but the guards stop him. The rules demand that the final game must still be played. The last game is revealed, the Squid Game, after which the entire series is named. A squid-shaped diagram is drawn on the ground. One player is the attacker, starting outside the diagram, hopping on one foot until reaching a certain point where he declares himself the secret inspector, allowing him to use both feet. The other player, the defender, stays inside the diagram and must stop the attacker from reaching the squid's head. If the attacker succeeds, he wins. Gi-hun is assigned the attacker's role, and Sang-woo becomes the defender. Before the fight begins, Gi-hun tries to reason with him, but Sang-woo grows furious and charges. Gi-hun throws sand in his eyes to blind him and rushes into the diagram, officially becoming the secret inspector. The two then engage in a brutal fight. Sang-woo tries to justify his actions, saying the pickpocket would have died anyway, and he only ended her suffering. Gi-hun shouts back that he survived only because she once stopped Gi-hun from killing him. They fight viciously, trading blows until Gi-hun finally overpowers Sang-woo and prepares to finish the game by stepping on the squid's head. But just as he is about to claim victory, Gi-hun stops. Remembering their childhood friendship, he cannot bring himself to kill Sang-woo. Instead, he turns to the guards and declares he wants to end the game with no winner, invoking the rule that if a majority agrees, the games can be stopped. At that moment, Sang-woo makes his choice. With tears in his eyes, he stabs himself in the neck, sacrificing his life. Before dying, he begs Gi-hun to take care of his mother. Gi-hun is crowned the winner. The front man drives him away, and Gi-hun demands to know why all of this was done. The masked man coldly replies, "You're nothing but a horse in a race. Don't expect sympathy." He warns Gi-hun never to speak of the games to anyone, then throws him out of the car with a bank card. Inside, Gi-hun finds an enormous fortune deposited into his account. But when he returns home, he discovers tragedy. His mother has died alone in their apartment, her body unnoticed for days. Overcome with grief, he sinks into despair. A year later, Gi-hun still hasn't touched the money. Living in depression, he meets with a bank manager, who is worried about the inactive account. Gi-hun admits he hasn't withdrawn a single cent, feeling the money is cursed, soaked in the blood of innocence. One day, at a beach, He buys a flower from a poor old woman. Inside the bouquet, he finds an invitation card, signed with the word Gonbu, the same phrase used by the old man during the games. Following the instructions, Ji-hun discovers that the old man, player 001, is still alive but bedridden on life support. The old man reveals the shocking truth. He was the true host of the games. Being unimaginably wealthy, he and other elites created the deadly competition simply out of boredom, betting on human lives for entertainment. He explains that this year, because of his illness, he decided to participate himself, enjoying the thrill as a player one last time. As a final wager, he points to a homeless man freezing outside and proposes a bet. Will anyone help him before midnight? If yes, Ji-hun wins. If not, the old man wins. They wait, and just before the clock strikes 12, someone does help the homeless man. Ji-hun turns to share the victory, but the old man has died. After this encounter, Ji-hun finally decides to change. He dyes his hair, dresses sharply, and takes the pickpocket's younger brother out of the orphanage, leaving him in the care of Song-woo's mother, along with a suitcase full of money and a note promising that it repays her son's debt. Later, on his way to the airport to reunite with his daughter in the U.S., Ji-hun spots the same recruiter who first lured him into the game, handing out cards to new potential players. Ji-hun confronts him, takes the card, and warns the new recruit not to go. Calling the number on the card, Ji-hun confirms the game is still ongoing, even after the old man's death. On the phone, he is told to forget about it and go to his daughter. But Ji-hun vows revenge, saying they will regret everything. He turns away from his flight, determined to fight back. And that is how Season 1 ends.